What is up, guys? Hello, and welcome to Crank Up the Leadership. I'm Sam.
I'm Jeremiah.
And we've got Brooke in the comments. Hi, Brooke. Each month here on Crank Up the Leadership, we are bringing rocking conversations with tangible takeaways that you guys can use to crank up your leadership. As a reminder, if you guys are project managers, aspiring project managers, going for your PMP, trying to maintain your PMP, you guys are earning a PDU right now. Stay with us the full hour. Make sure you earn that PDU. Brooke, if you don't mind, if you could drop that PDU link that we have to be able to sign up for the tools and grab your certificates, that'd be awesome.
Mary?
Real quick, just let you guys know as a reminder, we are streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We know that sometimes LinkedIn can get glitchy. If you guys are having a problem, go ahead and move over to YouTube. Brooke, if you could drop that link for us, please, and thank you. Also, you guys notice we are rocking some Light Warriors swag thanks to Brian Veneta. He's doing some really incredible things. I got you, Kristen. See, Light Warrior.
What up? What's up, Mary?
Jay, you want to show him the back? I've got hair, so it blocks it. But got freaking look at that lighthouse.
Sweetness.
A beacon in the darkness.
Beacon of light.
Brian's whole thing.
Come with me.
He'll come on a little bit later and let us know a little bit about what he's doing. But we do have a giveaway for one of these shirts. If you guys are interested, go ahead and just put interested in the comments and let us know that you're interested. Jay, kick us off, some intro.
Well, hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Are you ready to cuddle? Dun, 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 dun.
I am.
Hey, that was a rad intro, by the way, Sam. Very cool. Hope you all loved it. Anyway, for all of you who don't know me, my name is Jeremiah Hammond, and I'm a program manager here out of Portland, Oregon. And my sole purpose is to help people connect their passion and purpose to unleash their inner leader. And that's one of the reasons why we have created Cuddle.
Absolutely. And my name is Samantha Sierra, but I go by Sam. I'm a former teen mom, and I no longer want to let my past define me. I want to help others realize their true potential and give them the tools that they need to lead their best lives. And talking about tools, Jay, come on. This week, confidence. How much better do we get?
So who here is ready to talk about confidence? So this is really cool. This is everybody say hi.
Hi.
I believe that success is going to depend on 5 things. And the foundation to these 5 things is self-belief and confidence. Yeah, those 2. So you got your 5 pillars and your 2 that really are the foundation. When I first started out in project management, I got lucky. What I did was I basically had a little bit of an opportunity I was able to seize. And I had an opportunity to step into a position that a lot of people were failing at. And the reason that I had that confidence was because I had the self-belief that I could do whatever I wanted. Like I believe that if I put my mind to it, I could do it. And so having that self-belief gave me, some good self-confidence to step up and say, let's do this. So I stepped into this, and just like anything, when you step into anything in an organization, when you're moving up and down, we run into that comfort zone, right? Everybody's been there, comfort zone. And once you step outside of that, things can get a little chaotic. And so self-belief, self-confidence, feeling good, step up into a higher level of influence within an organization. And let me tell you something. My confidence got crushed. So here I am with I have all of this self-belief. I can do all of these things. And I'm in this new environment where I'm having to speak this completely different language that was foreign to me. And I started kind of, losing losing what I was focused on and who I thought I could be. And that really started limiting the impact that I could have within the team. And so I'm looking around, I'm trying to figure out, well, why I have all this energy and this confidence, and I could make everything happen. And so I started digging around, like, well, what am I going to do to overcome this? And so I figured I'd do like anybody else in the world, right? I'm going to go join Muay Thai. I'm going to go learn how to kickbox, and I'm going to go work on my confidence. I'm going to go get a Tony Robbins tape, right? Yeah. Like I'm in there. I'm like, I'm just going to go do some this, and I'm going to get some Tony Robbins, and I'm going to go back in there, and I'm going to change the organization. And I literally,
Bruce Lee, right? Be water.
Yeah. I literally did this. I'm not kidding here. So I go out there, I'm doing the thing, I'm doing it, I'm training, I go back, I'm not getting the result. The team, we're still rushing, we're putting in lots of hours. We are literally getting crushed. We're feeling all the anxiety that you could feel. I mean, I hated Sundays, I hated Mondays, any day that ended with Y. I was not having a good time. And this is my kickoff into project management. I'm like struggling. I am now the failing like the other people who I've seen before me when I stepped into it. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? Because I got to help the team. I mean, this was bad. So I thought to myself, well, actually, I had a conversation. It wasn't I thought to myself. Somebody said, you know what you need? You ever heard of PMI? And I'm like, PMI, well, what is this? And they gave me this idea to go check out this Project Management Institute. And at the time, I was like, well, what do I want to do that for? So I go out and I start checking it out. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, wait a second, speak the language of project management. So now I go out, I'm like learning the project management. I'm in there doing the project management. I'm getting the result. All of a sudden, bing, bang, boom. Confidence starts raising. I'm getting a better place, right? And so I start going, well, wait a second. I had an epiphany. Well, what was wrong? Why didn't this happen to me before? What was I missing here? And I realized that self-belief and competence, right? And self-confidence, right? They're not synonymous, right? You can have one, you can have the other. And when you have them both together, you're powerful. You're your best self. When one of them's lower, you have to leverage the other one to rise you up. Right. So you have a fine balance that you're constantly working on. And so
it's a balancing act.
It really is. And so I realized that, and this is an important message. If I give you guys anything, this is the whole reason why I created the PM pathway and everything I've been working on. The minute that you find that balance, the self-belief and the self-confidence, if one's lower, grab the other one to lift you up, but together you're your most optimal self. And you have to know which one of them is limiting you at any time. So Sam and I were talking about how we wanted to present this. And we really want to make sure that we're talking a little bit more about the self-confidence aspect of it. We'll talk about the limiting beliefs later, and it's ingrained. But in this instance, we're really going to give you tools and tactics to walk away to build ultimate self-confidence. But I want you to realize that sometimes you have to dig deep and look at your self-belief. So I want you all to do something for me here real quick. If everybody could, I want you to in the comments put, what is something where do you lack confidence? What makes you nervous? Where do you lack confidence and what makes you nervous?
Ooh, good questions,
what about
Jay.
You, Sam?
So while we wait for people to start answering that, I have an answer for that. So at my last job, it was my first, I'm going to call it my big girl job, right? It was the first time I worked in an office. I'd always worked in the food industry. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And within a year, I had become a department head and I was invited to our operations meetings. And I was like, absolutely petrified to walk through the door. Like I was confident in what I was capable of doing. I had learned a bunch of stuff. Obviously, I was doing what I needed to do. But going and being in front of my owner and the vice president and the operations manager and the controller and all the other heads of the departments, I freaked out. Mm-hmm. Absolutely freaked out. And I went in and there was probably like 10 of us that are in the room on a weekly basis. 3 of us were women. The only women who came, literally the only things that they would do was spit out statistics, how many orders we received, how many orders were processed, and how many orders got delivered. So I did the same thing, right? I just kind of did what everybody else was doing. Afterwards, I would go to my operations manager, Mike, and I'm like, why don't we do it like this? Why don't we do it like that? And, we can change and we can get better by doing this. And he's like, why are you not talking about this stuff in the meetings? And I'm like, Well, because, what if it's not good, or what if I don't understand, or whatever the case may be. And he's like, Sam, stop. You need to lean in. It's a big thing, femininity. I don't even know who says it. Mike told me to do it. So he's a mentor. I learned from him. I listened. So I started leaning in, and I started using my voice, and I started, talking about the things that I thought that we could do to become better.
Mm-hmm.
And because I started using my voice, and because I started talking and sharing my ideas and being not combative, but I was advocating for what I thought was right. And afterwards, I became that person that it was like every time we were starting to do a new process, or every time that we were starting to think of something new to create, it was, where's Sam? We need to get Sam in the room. We need to bounce this off of Sam. So sometimes, and you guys, I've shared my struggles a little bit. If you guys follow me on LinkedIn, you guys are following some of my journey. I was gaslit when I was younger, and self-worth was a big thing for me. Sometimes it takes somebody from the outside to destroy your confidence, and sometimes it takes the person from the outside to absolutely build up your confidence. So find it, use it, find your people. I say it all the time, right?
Just another thing in there, Sam, is like sometimes the outside, and it goes, what you just talked about there was you went back to, you went into the inside piece, that self-belief part, right? And even though the external entity's crushing us and can also lift us up, we too have that talk that we have to give us that motivation, that intrinsic motivation to keep us motivated. Sam, I think you got muted.
Sorry. I'm going through comments, and I'm gonna just throw up a couple of them.
Yes, throw them up.
As they come up. So Stavina, right? I get nervous sometimes that I'm invisible. That happens to everybody. Everybody.
Yep.
Find what makes you shine. What is it that you are incredibly good at, and hone in on that. And that's how you don't become invisible. Don't let yourself be invisible. Shine like a freaking star.
Like a light warrior.
Yeah, like a light warrior. Actually, it was Stavina who put us all together to create like this lighthouse thing. And shout out Stavina.
Absolutely.
Ooh, okay. So I don't report very much to high-level executives. We're a smaller organization, but Jay, Steve has some, confidence in reporting to higher level executives. Any tips on that?
Absolutely. So Steve, here's the thing. Every time you go to executive management, you need to prepare and know exactly what it is that they want to know. Now, trick number one, if you don't know, ask them. Because you want to make sure you don't waste anybody's time. Time is precious. What is it that you want from me? And if they don't give it to you, then we talked about this last week, and we talked about our ABCs, right? Or in our last episode, Sam, right? And you got to go out and you got to give them just basically, here's our three things. Make it simple, A, B, and C. Don't give them too many details, and out you go. You leave all the lower level details for the crew and the team to get them to take action. But anytime that you talk to them, tell them, ask them, what are your expectations so I can minimize wasting any time?
I love that. That's brilliant. I have another one. I get nervous if there's a gap in what I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody feels that, Mary.
Yep.
And you know what? If you ever go into a situation feeling like you know everything, you're wrong. Period. It doesn't happen. Nobody knows everything. Even the SMEs or the subject matter experts, they don't know everything. They still continue to learn. That's
you're in the
part of
wrong room.
growing. It's part of, evolving.
Yep.
And it's perfectly acceptable if you're not sure of something to say, I'll get back to you on that.
Mm-hmm.
You never have to make something up on the spot. You never have to feel like you're less than or unworthy or whatever, like you're not bringing value. You just simply don't know something. How many other things do you know? Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, always leverage your strengths and remember where you came from and what you're doing. And it's totally like Sam said, it's perfect to say, I don't know. And if you do know everything, you're in the wrong room. You need to be in rooms where you don't know so that you're learning.
Sorry, I keep putting myself on mute. Molly, lacking confidence on posting on LinkedIn and nervous with tagging people. I feel the same way. Every time that I go to post, I'm like, am I doing this right? Are people going to be able to relate? Am I tagging too many people? Is this person going to post? Is this person going to comment back? Like, just do it. It's social media.
It's like, it goes back to, when it comes to fear, Molly, fear is innate in all of us. It's one of our innate, traits. And you know what you do when you fear it? And if it's not going to kill, just do it. Just try it, do it. Eventually you're going to get really good out of it. And it's going to be a second nature and you're going to love the outcome. That's like Nike's whole thing. Just do it.
So Logan says that he feels not confident when he starts spouting off. But check this out, guys.
Technobabble.
But I just keep doing it. Practice over perfection. That's it. That's the key to it right there.
Perfection will kill you. Perfection is what stops you from procrastinating, will stop you from even doing anything. And it's a lack, it's a limiting belief. That's a complete limiting belief. And we all feel it. We all want to be perfect. We all want to do the thing. And we want to have all the people love what we're trying to do. But when you do that, you're limiting the outcomes and where you can grow and actually getting momentum. You limit that. So just do it. Do it whether it's wrong. Sometimes those are the mistakes that change the world.
Totally. And at the end of the day, like, what's the worst that can happen?
Right. You're not going to die.
You fail. And if you fail, we're going to go back to growth mindset and say that there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as failure.
Fail fast, fail forward.
You need to fail so that you know what not to do. Right. And just saying, guys, I'm a recovering perfectionist. It's hard sometimes to, like, I go through withdrawals. I'm like, oh my God, I got to fix that. And it's like, no, stop, Sam.
Stop it.
You don't.
This is in project management. It's the one thing for I'm a program manager. And so I have to actually pull people from perfectionism because they won't get anything done. They get in the weeds and they get lost down there. They can't get up and they can't see the forest through the trees. And my job is to be able to stop them and say, hold on, what is good enough? And that really is true. What is good enough to get the result? And we have to think that, knowing that over time we can make it better. But if you get lost in perfectionism, you miss so many opportunities.
Absolutely. Now, the last two shows that we had, we did mindset and communication, right?
We did.
Both of these, and the reason we chose confidence is next is because we feel like we're trying to build up, right? Everything that we try to do, we're trying to piggyback off of the last one, and help everybody grow, sustainably, I guess. I don't know.
Holistically.
So when it comes to failure, so I was thinking about this earlier. Failing to me, I kind of get excited about failing, right? Nobody likes failing. I'm not like, I don't start my day like, I hope I fail today. But When I fail, I'm like, yes, now I know what not to do. Well, sometimes I beat myself up over it. That's when the perfectionism happens, but
it's called human.
I'm recovering. Yeah. But so when we think about our mindset, right? We started it with the positive mindset as our foundation. And then you go up to the next level, which is the growth mindset. The top of that pyramid is the creative mindset, right? You unlock the creative mindset by failing, because the only way to fail, if you go and you try to do the same thing over and over and over and over again, are you successful? Sure, you're successful in doing the same thing over and over and over again. But are you growing? Are you learning? Or are you just maintaining? So when you fail, when you move forward, when you have the confidence to be able to say, hey, I failed, but that's okay because now I learned something out of it. Now you can unlock your creativity. You can unlock thinking outside of the box, having creative problem solving, all of those things. And be vulnerable. It's perfectly okay for you to not be 100% all of the time. Nobody is 100% of the time. It doesn't happen.
Sam, that's actually a really good point. When I think of mindset, I go back to the mind is primary, and you hear all these things. You are what you think, right? And I believe that more than anything. Everything that our life is based on our experiences, right, and how we perceive them. And the very first thing is you have your representation, and this is really big for confidence. Am I good at it? The minute you see something and you're doing it and you're put in a room, your mind goes, am I good at it? Yes or no? Amygdala hijack. Next thing you know, it's like you're not, and you're sweating, and you're freaking out. And this is interesting because when we talk about that, the way that the mind creates that emotion, it tells you, okay, I thought about it, I'm feeling a certain way, creates an emotion. And then we talked about verbal, right? And then, or the nonverbal cues. The next thing that happens is your body tenses up, right? All of a sudden your body is now reflecting on what your mind said. So here's this thing happening where you have your mindset, we're moving through it. And then your body is now trying to tell you, what are we going to do? Am I going to move? Am I not going to move? How am I supposed to feel? Am I going to breathe hard? You start breathing heavy. All of this is controlled through the mind. And so one of the things that's really interesting about confidence that I love is that if you can control the mind visually for a moment, you can say, okay, mind, I'm going to do this. Like we talk about it. We're going to get up, we're coming in. How do we set our mindset? Get it cued in. The body's going to follow. Now, tricky thing. If the body itself, if the mind's getting away from you and you can't control it, it's wandering, you can leverage the body to change yourself in the moment immediately. And one of the things that you can do, and this is easy, very simple. You can just smile. You just smile and sit there for just a second. Yeah. And you can just smile and it changes and you get your neurotransmitters and all these things start happening in your body and you start changing your physiology. Another thing that you can actually do, and this is really powerful, and this happens to a lot of us in project management, think about dress, the way you dress, dressing for success. If you go in a room and you go to a business room and you're in there and you walk in and immediately look around the room and everybody's in there dressed a certain way and you're not, like you're in your PJs, what is your mind going to do? Your mind's going to shut down. You're going to freeze up.
Yeah. You're going to say you're not worthy.
Yeah. Immediately you're going to have limiting beliefs. So always dress, just know where you're going and dress top notch always. Right. And then here we go. Then you have the pose, a power pose. And this is science. If you look back at Amy Cuddy, and she did a whole thing on this. If you stand there and you do your power pose, yep, right there, you got the superwoman, the Superman, you boost your endorphins and it gives you that self-confidence to walk through the room. This is using your body to control your mind. If your mind's letting you down through the negative beliefs, you can leverage your body, your nonverbal actions. Now, another thing you have to think about when you're doing this is that you have to know that your body language gives you away all the time. And if you're not feeling confident, if you're feeling a little small, your body will be small and it will tell everybody around you. And so in order to have that self-confidence, you have to really check all of these points. How's my mind? How's my body? How do I carry myself? Am I dressed for it? And then get your pose. before the meeting. It works really good. The mind and the body equal the energy, the feel that you need to be sustainable and deliver who you need to be in the moment. That builds self-confidence right there.
So do you guys use any of these tactics? Like any of these techniques? Let us know if you use any of them. And if you don't, what are some of the tools or techniques that you guys use to boost your confidence?
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, we're all here to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all here to grow and get better from each other. So maybe you guys have tips that we don't. Maybe we're sharing tips that you guys don't have. Everybody share, okay? Sharing is caring.
Damn, let's see that pose.
Yeah. So first of all, I love this pose. I literally use it all the time. Every time I feel like I'm having anxiety or stressed out or like I'm not in control of whatever's situation's going on. I actually used it last week. I had this guy who I had to have a conversation with because they're not fulfilling their end of the bargain. They're not doing what they need to do. So I went and I talked to him and they weren't happy. And they came into my office. I was like, look, I need you to start doing what you need to do. We can't continue having these conversations. This is part of your job. I need it done. And I need this brought back to my office as soon as possible. So he comes and he puts it on my desk and I'm like, thank you. And he turns around and he like stalks out of my office. And I'm like,
really?
What? I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So instantly I got frustrated. And I'm like, who the heck you know what? And I went to go walk out to go have a conversation with him. And instead of turning right so I can go and have a conversation with him, I took a left and I went outside. Mm-hmm. And I repeated my mantra that I have. And I just kept saying, nobody is in, don't let anybody control your emotions. I am in control of my emotions. I will not let anybody control my emotions. I will not let anybody control my emotions. And I'm standing outside in the superwoman pose. I'm standing up tall, got my hands on my hips, chin up, chest out. Ladies, full disclosure, ladies, don't do this in a room full of men. Just don't do it. Okay. Save yourself. But I do that. I'm outside and I'm standing there in a power pose saying, I will not let anybody control my emotions. I will not let anybody control my emotions. And it dawns on me, I'm letting this guy control my freaking emotions. So I laugh at myself and I go back in my office and I finish doing what I needed to do.
But that's half the power though. Sometimes by going through that motion like that, even though you're letting them do it, you're releasing it out into the world and getting rid of it. And it's that 5-minute action and boom, that's what makes the difference. Because other people, what do they do, Sam? What do they do? What's the alternative?
Oh my God. They fester. They let it just bubble inside of them and then they can't let it go. And their entire day is ruined.
And they flip a table over, they crash a computer, right? They do all the things and you're like, why did that person just lose it and freak out? Because they didn't go outside, do a power pose and scream, I'm not going to let you control my emotions.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it. Well, I might let you do it for 5 minutes and then I'm going to laugh at myself.
Because it really goes in. It desensitizes it. It's brilliant. Good stuff. So here, So let's see. What do we got here? We got a lot of great stuff in the comments. Thank you everyone for coming in. And we just want to say thank you for popping in and really rocking with us right now. You guys are really delivering and we've got a lot of comments to catch up on.
Yeah, and just another quick reminder, guys, we are wearing matching shirts, the Light Warriors. Jay, I have hair, so you're gonna have to show them the back. It's got a brilliant lighthouse. It says illuminate the path. Brian Vanetta is going to be on here at the very end of the show to let us know a little bit more about what he's doing, what the Light Warriors stand for. If you guys haven't already said that you're interested in a t-shirt giveaway, we are giving away one of the t-shirts tonight. So if you haven't already said that you're interested, go ahead and let us know in the comments if you're interested in winning one of these t-shirt giveaways. so many incredible comments.
I know,
like,
I'm jumping in here really quick, checking them out.
I can't
You
even
guys are
keep
all
up with
awesome.
them.
Lots of good stuff here. We have people that are battling negative emotions. Not let people do that. Stephen, we see you. Procrastinating, perfection. Wow.
Sorry.
So good.
Stephen,
Such a good
by
show
the way,
tonight.
hey, he won our contest for the PM Pathway. Thank you, Stephen, for participating. I can't believe that was awesome how he got that. I mean, at first he was just kidding. He's like, you need to make a movie. And then he was like, boom, drop the knowledge. I was like, the hell?
Yeah, that was it. Absolutely incredible.
Here's one from Adam. He often reminds himself that the brain lies to me so that the self-talk isn't positive. He reminds himself it's not true. From Adam. Adam, that is so powerful. If you can remind, it starts with the mind. The mind's primary. If you can remind yourself that the brain, if you know that and you come to terms with it, then you can easily overcome it. Because you always have the two conversations, right? The external ones and the internal ones. And how do you combat the internal one from becoming external?
And Kristen says she likes to do the rehearsal. It helps me say things out loud in the shower, in the car.
Yeah.
Guys, I freak out before every single one of these shows.
Yeah, me too.
First, I start out, I'm super calm and I'm like, yeah, I got this. It's going to be awesome. And then like 15 minutes before the show starts, full on butterfly assault. They're just flying all over my stomach. And it's like, are people going to come? Who's going to be there? Who's going to comment? Are people going to like what we have to talk about? Full on, guys. Every single time before I hit go live. And it happens.
Well, hey, so we've talked a lot in here really quick. You know, we're getting to the half an hour mark. We want to make sure that we get moving on this. Great comments. We thank everybody, and we'll go back and respond on these too. I'll go look at these later on and go back and drop some comments into. So we've talked a lot about, you know, some things that you can do. We said, hey, what is confidence? What are some things that we can just combat it in the moment so that we can step up and be our most powerful self? But have we ever really defined it? Have we actually defined what self-confidence is, right? And it's interesting in any organization and in business. You know, we're on LinkedIn here and we're talking a lot about business stuff, and in life, you got life stuff. But people are drawn to people who have a healthy dose of self-confidence, right? Who look like who have that natural ability, right? That natural leader ability. I believe that leadership or confidence is the foundation for good leadership. And in project management, this is all your decision making. You have your problem solving, all this great stuff. So the question becomes, well, what is self-confidence, right? So do you guys know what self-confidence is? And simply, what is self-confidence? I can't even say it. Confidence.
It's having belief in your abilities.
Right. It literally is that. It's competence. It's having belief in your abilities and your strengths, right? In your skills. So it's something that you can learn, which is really powerful. So what does it look like? So what do you think that unstoppable self-confidence looks like? What does being your most ultimate powerful self really look like?
So I think it's all about knowing what your strengths and your capabilities are, right? Everybody has their own unique set of strengths, abilities, traits, characteristics, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Find yours, leverage them.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I am not good at math. I'm just not. I need a calculator. I need Google. I need all the tools. But I see things from a big picture and I can understand how this and this tie together and what happens if I twist this a little bit and how does this impact that. That's my strength. Jeremiah, what do you call it? Your unique genius?
It's your unique genius.
Right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Figure out what your unique genius is and leverage that. Another thing is believe in yourself. Like, even if you have to remind yourself, like, you are capable of whatever you put your mind to. Guys, I am proof of it. I am 37 years old and I'm back in school earning my degree because why not? Boom, high five.
Yeah.
Another thing, admit to your weaknesses.
Oh,
admit them.
No one.
If you don't admit what your weaknesses are, they absolutely will hold you back.
Yep.
the moment you admit where your downfall is, the moment you admit that you're not strong enough to do this or you're not capable of that, now you can work on it. You can grow, you can learn. Sorry, Kristen, I'm not bad at math. I'm just bad at doing mind math. I need the tools.
I'm great with a calculator.
I'm incredible with a calculator.
Or Excel.
Oh yeah, Excel. I can plug in formulas. So what's the opposite of this? So like we're building self-confidence, but there's also that other end of it. What's that, Jay?
Well, it's interesting because when you started just talking about weakness, right, you got me thinking. I was like, oh, know what you're weak at. Well, if you don't understand your weaknesses, what are your threats, right? When we talk about like a SWOT analysis, what your strengths are, boom, you're going to be like, I'm going to capitalize on these. But if you don't know your weaknesses, this is when you get hit with low self-esteem and low self-confidence, because what happens is that you don't know. And when it pops up, and it's usually in front of people. And that's when you shrink. You narrow your focus, you shrink. And so low self-confidence, that's where you're walking into a room and you don't want to go to the meeting, right? Like if somebody's like, and you have introverts and extroverts, and I get that. Some people want to go to the meeting. They're just predisposed to do it. But a lot of us, we can be extroverts, but not want to go to a meeting just because we're not prepared. And that's what we're really trying to say here is that you can learn and prepare for confidence. Like I said earlier, self-belief can be high, competence can be low, right? And your confidence, because of your confidence is lower, but you can learn. I can just go out and learn it. So I can prepare for a meeting in 10 minutes and walk in there and ace it and have maximum self-confidence. But when you don't have that, your voice, and how many of you have had this? You go into a meeting, they throw something at you and you pull up your paper and you're like, and they got to say something, and you open your mouth and you hear, and you actually get a dry throat and you start kind of doing, let me talk to you. And you do the thing. That's a sign of self-confidence, right there. And in your body language too, you'll go in and shrink. People go in and they go like this in a meeting, like, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. I don't want to do this. And so, and it goes back to, it's a body, it's a physical thing. You'll start sweating, and you'll just you'll recluse and you'll not want to be part of things. You don't go out with your friends. There's a lot that goes on with the confidence, but it's usually because of something that you can learn depending on the situation, your life's experiences.
100%. Now, guys, some ways to develop your self-confidence,
as we promised,
right? These are the big things, but they're so small. Get to know yourself. Do an honest self-assessment.
Oh, seriously.
Not for nothing, Jeremiah's dropping a PM pathway thing. It's going to be epic. Inside of that is a personal SWOT analysis. When I did it, I was like, I had never really, I'm a big person that says, look, I do a lot of self-reflection. I try to figure out all whatever. Going through the questions that he had and the prompts that were in that PM pathway thing really made me dig deep and realize what my strengths and weaknesses are and what threats are out there for me. And
the threats are real.
Identifying those allows you to be able to grow your confidence.
So true.
Document the value that you bring beyond just your standard job duties. Okay. If you, and it doesn't have, you don't have to be executive level. You don't even have to be a leadership level. It could be somebody in customer service. You're good at picking up the phones. You're good at helping customers. What else are you good at?
Remember
just
that.
Just because you don't have a title doesn't mean you can't be a leader.
Totally.
Communicate your value. If you are good at something, make sure that your higher level leaderships know that, because then you can use it. When I went into those meetings, I advocated, I spoke my mind, I brought ideas to the table, and it became, we need to talk to Sam. We need Sam in these meetings. And then lastly, find your purpose, right? What speaks to you? What are you here for? And then we have a whole thing about self-care, but Jay's way better at self-care than I am.
I want to say one thing about purpose really fast. Here's an interesting thing about purpose in your work daily. When we say that, how many people actually find purpose in everything they do? When you wake up in the morning, you're going to work, there's a purpose for you. You know, we're fathers, we're mothers, we're daughters, we're aunts, we're uncles. Each one of those roles has a different purpose. If everybody thought like that one piece right there, if we all thought about, wait a second, purpose to me isn't this big grandiose, got to do this thing, got to save the world, because you'll get procrastinate forever. You'll never get off dead center. And you literally find it in every single thing you do. How much confidence will that give you in everything? I got to do a task. Hey, Sam and I are going to go do a show. What's our purpose? Boom, to bring incredible tools and tactics to you to up level your life to level 21. That's our purpose right here, right now. How powerful is that if you take that mindset out in the real world with everything you do?
Absolutely critical.
Everybody out there right now,
critical.
Do this. Tomorrow, what's your purpose? We want you to go on and tell everybody what your purpose is today. Today, I'm doing this, then I'm doing that. And every day it could be different. It can be awesome.
Yeah.
And the self-care thing, Sam, we were just talking about self-care. I do have a passion for self-care, but here, the trick for self-care is not a lot of, this is my experience. Okay. So a lot of us go out and we do the, we got to go out and do the meditation. I love the meditation. I'll do the Wim Hof. I'll go jump in the ice bath, get all weird, get cold. I jump out. It's weird, but I like it. So I recommend that, by the way, do all that stuff. But what I like to do is I like to set up my world to be on offense. So if I can understand models and methods and techniques, and I can implement that into my life and model things that have worked, it decreases the amount of time that I spend, building up stress and resilience so that I can maximize my productivity in real time. And then I have all of this other time to do all the cool stuff like write a PM pathway, do the leadership courses, and do all this other stuff. And to me, that right there, I'm adding value to the world. That's where I recover and self-care. So for people, if you can find the thing that you're passionate about and do more of that by eliminating the waste in your life and not being productive, it's a huge, it will help you really decrease the stress in your life and increase the actual passion and performance that you can have in other areas that matter.
That's like physiology, right? It's like when people get ready to do like major motion pictures and stuff right before they're about to do action scenes, they go and they like pump iron so that they're all like bulgy and stuff, and they go and they crush it, right?
Absolutely. Yes, I do that before meetings with kettlebells.
I'm not surprised.
I literally will go in and I'll sit there. And the funny thing about it is you talk about walking down the hall and building up your confidence. I'll go rock out some kettlebells and some snatches. And I come out and I'm walking down the hall and they're like, why are you breathing heavy? And I'm like, because you just did it and you did the thing. You're like, oh, sorry. And I mean, you're power pose, you're pumped, and you'll walk in there and but yeah, it's the way to go. Change your physiology, change your mindset, build your confidence immediately in the moment. It's perfect.
Yeah. And then like what I do, like I'm not going to be in my office with kettlebells. Sorry, that's not me. But I will speak my mantras and I will remind myself, hey, I got this. You totally got this. I will breathe. I'll ground myself. That's all things that I do. It's all focused on your mindset, right? And then like Kristen said, I practice aloud. I literally practiced this show before the show in my car before we got here, before we hit live, because why not? Right.
Right. Just so you know, I'll Muay Thai sequence, Kristen, right now. I'll jump in the room. I'll be doing the punching, get the elbows going. I'm not scared.
And you know what, guys? Everybody has their whatevers. Everybody has their quirks, their downfalls. People literally, I mean, Beyonce Knowles, she has Sasha Fierce.
Oh, whoa.
Right?
Oh, whoa. You're going there.
Christopher Wallace was Biggie. Like
Alice Cooper. David Bowie was Ziggy Stardust. Right? The alter ego. Slash is Saul Hudson. Does everybody know who Slash is? You'd be living under a rock if you didn't.
I hope they know who Slash is, especially if they're coming to a rockin' show.
I know.
Come on, guys.
But that's really
what about
that's really important though, Sam, is if you have your alter ego, and they do that, these stars and these people, they actually create this alter ego so that when the alter ego's in the room, they take over, right? They walk in and they're like, boom, Ziggy Stardust is in here. You know, P. Diddy and all the different Diddies, he's in the house, or Prince, formerly known as, in the house. Then when all the people beat up on Prince, Prince goes away and he's Prince. I think that's Prince's real name is Prince.
No, he's
but the other ones.
He's just a symbol. He's transcended.
Oh, Brooke is Brogdor. Just so you know, this is interesting. Brooke Brog, our lovely Brooke Brog there. When she goes up and plays bass, she becomes Brogdor. And it gives her power. It's like the mighty Brogdor steps in. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's true.
I believe it though. Brooke is.
Yep, that's true.
Brooke's awesome.
Yep.
And so then
just remember that. You're muted. Sam, you're muted. Still muted. Uh-oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start singing you a song. Still muted. Just gone. Can anybody else hear? Everybody in the chat, can you hear Sam? Anybody hear Sam, or is it just me? Nope, she's muted. Check, check. Sing it, sing it. Sam, unmute yourself. You're muted. Nope, they can't hear you. Nobody can hear Sam. Jody says no. Molly says no. Brooke says no. Adam says no. Amber says no. Everybody just wants to jam, so I'm just going to start singing you songs. Well, let's bring Brian up. We got somebody here we'd like to bring on up. You got it. Sam, are you good? Brian, let's see if you can hear us. Can you hear us? I cannot hear Brian. Can you all hear me? Or am I in the twilight zone? This is like the communication show. Brian, we can't hear you. Can you go ahead and talk? Hey, Brian, if you'll go out and come back in. It's all me. All right, so everyone, here's what we do. Wait, we're waiting for it. No, Brian. Can you pop out and come back in? See, I love it. Just singing in the rain. Well, while we're waiting for them, we'll continue our conversation. I'm going to go through some of these comments here. Casey, I broke it. I broke it with the awesomeness of purpose. We must lead and live with purpose, right? We got Sam coming back. I spy with my third eye. Nope. Go ahead and talk. Nope. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Sam and we have Brian, and both of them, we cannot hear them. So, see if Brian. Anything, Brian? Nope. All right, Sam, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking it down. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Nothing, Sam? Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back and we're going to do a 0.5 where we bring Brian back on and we'll have this conversation and we'll finish this out because obviously we're having some technical difficulties. But what I want to do really quick is I'm just going to wrap this up and just kind of recap what we've learned, have a quick conversation about, what's coming on next. What's the risk response? The risk response is run, everybody run. No, it's handle business. So we've talked about confidence. What really builds confidence, right? Competence builds confidence. Now you have two factors to it. You have your self-belief, and then you also have your confidence, like the self-confidence. And any one of these can go up and down at any time. And you have to know which one is pushing and pulling it, whichever one is pushing and pulling, so that you can then leverage them to be able to build the confidence or the self-confidence, the limiting beliefs. This is very, very powerful in anything that we're doing, when we want to be successful. So in project management, this is the number one thing that I see where leaders fall down as they step into a room and they lack confidence. And by not having that, their team members get smaller and don't follow them and don't believe in them. So we can take these tools and tactics that we've been talking about here, and we can leverage these up just by applying that knowledge and the goals and the perseverance to be able to raise our standards of who we are. And this is very important. So does anybody have anything about any questions that they have on something that we could talk about for close the show out with, something that they need help with to overcome some of the limiting confidence issues they're having right now? Hey, Trevor. Lead with confidence. We got Logan in there. It's so true. That's why I talk about purposeful leadership. Cool under pressure for sure. Anyway, so that's really what we have here to deliver for you. We're going to get Brian back up here, but as we close this out, we do have this giveaway. Hey, Trevor, how you doing? Yeah, Sam fell out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
You're back.
I'm back?
You're back.
I don't know what happened.
What did you do?
I don't know.
Welcome to live.
Things happen.
Yep, you're gone again.
I'm gone again?
You're back and you're louder.
Awesome.
Is Brian still around? Do we see if we can get Brian back on? Maybe that
might be what's happening. I'm going to try.
Okay. It looks like when we bring everybody up here, we're having some issues. Can you hear me now? No, Sam. Nope, Sam. I'm out. Am I back? Now you're all out. All of us are out, Sam. Nope. Oh, audio's working? All right. Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to close this down. It looks like we have about 5 minutes. You can hear me? So Jay's good. Sam's out. So really what we've been talking about, we can hear me? Okay, good. So you got to conquer your fears. That's the biggest thing. Know that where you're going to be your best and where you're going to grow your confidence is outside of your comfort zone. Okay. So anytime that you kill fear while it's small, and whenever you're feeling like something's kind of scaring you, lean into it. As Sam was saying, lean into this. Believe in yourself and create that alter ego that can be a badass. And make sure you lead with purpose, you know your purpose, and you're always living your purpose. And it's every day and everything that you do. If you do that, you're going to build unstoppable self-confidence that will take you into the light years of what you're trying to do and accomplish in the next couple of years. So a few reminders for everybody here as we close this out. This will be available for a replay. If we've missed anything, catch the replay. Follow our business page on LinkedIn and follow us. If you're not following any one of us here, jump on here. All these people in the comments are great people. We learn so much from them. So if you're not following us or them, get out there. As Sam would say, know your people, connect, all right? Connect with your connections. Smash the notification button, like, and make sure you sign up for our PDUs. Now, for all you project managers out there, we get PDUs for this, all right? And we're going to do some more shows coming up. We have some 0.5 shows. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff where we're going to really get more actionable tips and tools out to you that you can do. And we have one coming up for this show that we'll release over the next week. And if you're not a PM, just know these tools work for you as well. Do them. Do yourself the favor. Grow the confidence. Do the tool. Get the competence, okay? Our next show topic, we are going to let you all know in the 0.5. We'll see you in the 0.5. Until then, I'm going to have to say we're out of here. We got 3 minutes, but let's go. So Sam,